Let's be real for a moment. There are times when you feel something in your chest before your mind can explain it. A look that lasts just a little too long, a pause that feels heavier than words, a quiet pull that makes you ask yourself, is she thinking about me the way I'm thinking about her? This is not imagination. It's not ego, and it's not random. Most men are trained to look for loud signs, confessions, compliments, clear statements of desire. But female attraction rarely shows itself that way. What you're about to hear are the quiet signs, the ones she hopes you'll notice without her ever having to say them out loud. And once you understand these signals, you won't see women the same way again. Here's the first truth most men were never shown. When a woman craves you, she doesn't chase you with her body. She chases you with the psychology behind hidden desire attention. Attention is her real currency. It's valuable, protected, and never given away without meaning. If she gives it to you in small but repeated ways, she is already investing emotionally long before anything physical happens. Notice how often she finds reasons to be mentally present with you. She remembers small details you mentioned once, maybe weeks ago. She brings them up casually like they don't matter, but they do. A woman does not store unimportant information about a man she feels neutral about. Memory is the fingerprint of desire. Pay attention to how her energy changes when you enter a room or a conversation. It's not always excitement. Sometimes it's a soft shift. Her voice may become slightly calmer. Her movements slow down. They feel more intentional. This is not nervousness. This is awareness. You've moved from background noise to a focal point in her mind. And here's what most men misunderstand. She may not smile more. She may actually become more composed, more controlled. Attraction doesn't always make a woman bubbly. Often it makes her careful. When she craves you, she doesn't want to reveal herself too easily. Notice how she tests emotional safety with you. She'll share something small, but personal. Then sign number one, she finds reasons to be near you. Watches how you respond, not just with her eyes, but with her silence. Does she stay present after she speaks? Does she lean in slightly? If she does, she's measuring something deeper than interest. She's asking herself, can I be seen here without losing control? That question only appears when attraction already exists. Another hidden sign lives in contradiction. She may pull back right after a deep moment with you. Fewer messages, a bit more distance. This is not loss of interest. It's self-control. When a woman feels herself craving a man, she often creates space to regain emotional balance. Men who don't understand this chase harder and ruin the connection. Men who understand remain steady, and that steadiness makes her desire stronger. Here's a truth that separates men who are chosen from men who stay confused. A woman who craves you watches how you move through life when she is not the center of it, how you treat people, how you handle silence, how you act when nothing is being offered. Desire grows when she senses that you are grounded. Sign number two, her body language. Opens up not needy, present not performing. That's when craving moves from curiosity into something deeper, something intense, something she doesn't easily forget. The second hidden sign shows up in how she reacts to your absence. Most men only watch what a woman does when she's around them. The smarter move is to notice what happens when you step back. When a woman secretly craves you, your absence disrupts her emotional rhythm. She may not send a flood of messages. Instead, she reappears with timing that feels accidental. A reply that comes just late enough to seem casual. A reason to reconnect that feels unnecessary but intentional. This is restoring balance without exposing her desire. Watch how she mirrors you, but never in an obvious way. When attraction is shallow, imitation is clear and awkward. When it's deep, mirroring becomes subtle. She matches your pace, your tone, your emotional depth. If you slow down, she slows down. If you become more thoughtful, she meets you there. This isn't manipulation, it's alignment. Her nervous system is syncing with yours. That only happens when attraction has sign number three, conversations. Feel effortless, moved beyond surface curiosity. Another powerful sign hides in how she disagrees with you. A woman who feels nothing will either argue harshly or disconnect completely. A woman who craves you disagrees gently. She challenges you without trying to win. She wants tension, not damage. She's testing polarity, not control. And notice this, after a disagreement, she often becomes warmer, not colder. That warmth is relief. Relief that you can handle tension without falling apart or becoming aggressive. For her, that's deeply attractive. Pay attention to her questions, not the obvious ones, but the sideways ones. Questions about your past decisions, your values, what you believe about loyalty, ambition, peace. These aren't random. She's mapping your inner world. A woman does not imagine a future with a man unless she already feels drawn to him. Curiosity opens the door. Craving walks through it. There's also a physical signal most men miss because they're too focused on touch. When she craves you, she becomes aware of space. She sits closer than needed, then pulls back slightly. She steps into your sign before. She mirrors your behavior personal space, then acts like it didn't happen. This push and pull isn't a game. It's regulation. Her body wants closeness. Her mind wants control. That tension is desire in its raw form. Notice how she reacts when other women are around you. Not loud jealousy, but alertness. She listens more carefully. She becomes sharper, more present, not to compete openly, but to reestablish presence. If she casually mentions another woman later, she's not fishing for reassurance. She's checking significance. She wants to know where she stands without asking directly. Here's a truth most men never hear from a woman's voice. A woman who craves you doesn't want you to rush toward her. She wants you to stay centered while the pull grows naturally. Your calm becomes the container for her desire. The moment you start chasing the feeling, it disappears. But when you stay grounded, self-directed, and steady, her craving deepens quietly and powerfully. Ask yourself this honestly. When you step back, does she step forward emotionally? Sign number 5, the way she looks at you changes even in small ways. If the answer is yes, that's not random. That's attraction revealing itself without asking permission. The third hidden sign appears in how she opens emotional doors and then waits to see how you respond. A woman who secretly craves you doesn't overshare. She invites, she gives you a glimpse, not the whole story, and watches what you do. Do you rush to fix things? Do you offer advice too quickly? Or do you simply listen, calm, and present? When she feels that you can hold her emotions without trying to control them, something inside her settles. That settling isn't just comfort, it's desire deepening into trust. Notice how often she shows you her unfiltered reactions. Not polite responses, but real ones. A quick eye roll, a smirk, a pause before speaking. These moments mean she feels safe enough to drop the act. Women don't crave men. They have to impress constantly. They crave men they can breathe around. If sign number 6, she remembers the small details. She lets you see her raw reactions. You're already inside her emotional boundary. Watch how she responds to your quiet confidence. Not loud confidence, but calm certainty. When you set boundaries without apology. When you make decisions without over-explaining. If her body language softens instead of resisting, that's not submission, that's attraction. Female desire responds to clarity. A man who knows himself reduces her emotional stress. And when her mind rests, her attraction becomes stronger. Pay attention to how she treats your vulnerability. If she craves you, she doesn't use it against you. She protects it. She may not react much in the moment, but later she refers to it with care. This matters. A woman who desires you guards your inner world because she imagines herself inside it. Indifference ignores vulnerability. Craving protects it over time. Notice how communication changes. Fewer messages, but deeper ones. Less noise, more meaning. She doesn't need constant contact because the connection has moved beneath the sign number 7. She creates opportunities to see you surface. Silence becomes charged instead of empty. If it feels like something is happening, even when nothing is being said, you're not imagining it. That tension is shared awareness. Watch how she reacts when you don't seek validation, when you don't ask if she likes you, if she approves, if she's okay. A woman who craves you leans into the unknown. She fills the gaps with imagination, and imagination is where desire multiplies. Men who explain too much remove the space attraction needs to grow. One of the most misunderstood signs shows up when she emotionally challenges you. She may question your direction, your consistency, your intentions. This isn't doubt, it's investment. She wouldn't test something she didn't care about. These moments aren't traps. They're invitations for you to remain steady under pressure. When you do, her craving intensifies because she feels supported without being controlled. Here is the deeper truth. A woman doesn't crave a man because he makes her feel wanted. She craves him because he makes her feel seen without being consumed. When she feels that you can recognize her depth without losing your own center, something shifts inside her. Attraction becomes something heavier, something lasting, but only if you don't chase it. Final thoughts. Ask yourself quietly when she opens up just a little. Do you feel the urge to act, fix, or prove something? Or can you simply stay present? Because the man who can remain calm in those moments becomes unforgettable. He becomes the one her mind returns to long after the conversation ends. Needing to act is the kind of man she finds impossible to forget. The fourth hidden sign shows itself in the way she manages control when she is around you. When a woman secretly craves a man, she becomes very aware of power, but not in the way most men expect. She does not try to overpower you or dominate you. Instead, she tries to keep balance. You may notice moments where she takes the lead and then suddenly pauses. She moves closer and then pulls back slightly. This is not confusion or mixed signals. This is calibration. Desire pulls her toward you, but self-respect makes her slow down. That tension between wanting closeness and protecting herself is where craving lives and grows. Pay attention to how she reacts when you do not respond right away. This does not only apply to messages, it applies to emotional moments too. When you do not rush to fill silence, when you do not hurry to reassure her, when you do not explain yourself too quickly, she notices. She is watching carefully. If she stays present instead of becoming distant or cold, that is a strong sign of emotional pull. A woman who craves you does not need constant validation. She wants to feel your emotional gravity. She wants to feel that you are steady enough to let moments breathe without panic. Your calm presence becomes more attractive than words. Another sign shows up in how she compliments you. When attraction is shallow, compliments are obvious and focused on the surface. She might comment on look, style, or charm. But when attraction runs deep, the compliments change. They become indirect and thoughtful. She notices how you think, how you handle pressure, how you see situations differently. These are not casual remarks. She is expressing respect, and respect is the doorway to lasting desire. A woman may enjoy attention from many men, but she craves the one she respects on a deeper level. Notice how she shares space with you. When a woman truly desires you, she does not feel the need to fill every moment with noise. Silence does not make her uncomfortable. She may sit with you quietly without reaching for her phone. She may stay longer than she needs to, even when there is no clear reason to. Time seems to slow down when desire is present. If she lingers without needing constant entertainment, that is her nervous system choosing you over stimulation. There's also a subtle emotional sign that many men overlook. When you clearly express your direction, your goals, your standards, and your path in life, and she does not try to change or redirect you, that matters. A woman who craves you does not want to reshape you. She wants to understand you. She becomes curious about how she might fit into your life without losing herself. That curiosity is desire growing into something deeper and more serious. Watch how she reacts when you say no calmly and respectfully, without anger or guilt. If she accepts it and becomes even more attentive afterward, that is attraction responding to strength. Healthy boundaries do not push the right woman away. They focus her attention. They show her where the edges are, and desire needs edges to grow safely and powerfully. Another hidden sign appears in her emotional consistency. Even during moments when she feels distant, there is still a connection that remains. She does not disappear completely. She comes back, she checks in. This is not emotional insecurity. It is resonance. You left an impression, and real impressions do not fade quickly. Here is a truth very few men ever hear. A woman does not crave emotional chaos or intensity for its own sake. She craves containment. She wants to feel that her emotions can rise and fall around you without everything falling apart. When you stay grounded, when you do not react impulsively, when you do not try to control the outcome, you become the calm center she did not even realize she was searching for. Ask yourself this honestly. When you stand firm in who you are, does she move closer emotionally instead of pulling away? If the answer is yes, her craving is not random. It is responding to the version of you that does not need to be chosen because he already chose himself. The next hidden sign appears in how she thinks about you when you are not around. This is where attraction becomes internal. A woman who secretly craves you begins to reference future moments without calling them plans. She uses soft hypotheticals. She says things like, "You would like this place," or "This reminds me of something you would say." These are not practical thoughts. They are emotional placements. She is slowly integrating you into her inner world without making it obvious, without asking logic for permission. Notice how she reacts to your unpredictability, not chaos or inconsistency, but independence. When you do not always do what she expects, yet remain steady in character, her interest deepens. Predictable men feel safe. Grounded men who move independently feel magnetic. When she craves you, she becomes more alert and engaged. When you surprise her without trying to impress or provoke a reaction. Curiosity fuels desire when it feels natural rather than forced. Another strong sign is how she protects the connection. If someone speaks negatively about you, she does not join in. She may stay neutral or offer a quiet defense, not loudly or emotionally, but enough to show loyalty beginning to form. A woman does not protect something she does not value, and she does not value what she feels nothing for. Pay attention to how she handles moments when you pull focus toward your own life. When you are busy, committed, and unavailable, not distant or cold, just focused. A woman who craves you does not punish you for it. She adapts. She becomes patient. That patience is attraction, respecting purpose. She senses that your world does not revolve around her, and instead of feeling threatened, she feels drawn in. There is also a deeper emotional cue hidden in humor. When she jokes with you, it carries layers. There is teasing mixed with warmth, challenge mixed with softness. Humor becomes a safe way for her to express desire without exposing herself fully. If her jokes feel intimate without crossing boundaries, that is emotional closeness disguised as play. Notice how she listens when you talk about fears or doubts, not with urgency, not trying to fix you, but with calm attention. A woman who craves you is not trying to rescue you. She wants to understand you. Understanding is the foundation of intimacy. When she remembers these moments later and brings them up gently, it is because they mattered more to her than she showed at the time. Another overlooked sign appears when she gives you emotional space. She does not crowd you or demand reassurance. She allows you to come forward at your own pace. This restraint is not lack of interest, it is respect guided by desire. She wants attraction to grow naturally, not through pressure. Here is another truth most men miss. A woman who craves you does not want to own you. She wants to meet you fully without chasing or control. When she sees you moving towards your life with clarity and intention, she moves closer, not out of fear, but out of choice. Ask yourself this again. When you focus on becoming more of who you are, does she become more present instead of pulling away? If yes, her craving is not something you forced. It is something you allowed to rise by not interfering with it. Another hidden sign appears when her emotions respond to you before her words do. You notice it in her mood after interacting with you. She seems lighter, calmer, or quietly energized, not because you entertained her, but because your presence regulated her. When a woman secretly craves a man, his energy stays with her even after the interaction ends. Watch how she responds when you challenge her thinking without dismissing her feelings. If she becomes thoughtful instead of defensive, that is attraction rooted in respect. She does not need agreement. She wants expansion. When you offer insight without ego, she associates you with growth, and growth is deeply attractive. Notice how she begins to trust your judgment. She asks for your opinion and genuinely considers it. This is not dependence, it is admiration. She senses stability in your inner compass, and stability feels rare and seductive. Pay attention to how she opens up emotionally after time has passed. She may share something meaningful days or weeks later. This is not random. She has been processing and deciding if it is safe to let you in deeper. When she finally does, it means the craving survived reflection, and anything that survives reflection